Podcast number 1, guys.
Hey, it has begun. It has begun. Now, where do you start, right?
I guess this is introduction, so one of y'all can just kind of take it, and we'll go from there.
You're first. So
All right, I'll go first. Okay.
way.
So, all right, so everybody, I'm Daniel Storie, a.k.a. Mr. Business. And basically, my father was in the Army, so we traveled a lot. Never really had a place I called home until we landed in Asheboro, North Carolina, about the time I was 11 years old. And grew up, military life, good family. Mom stayed at home with myself and my 3 younger brothers, but a poor life. And father worked in the military, and then when he wasn't doing that, he was working his second or third job trying to provide. So kind of from a very early start, a lot of strong role models for work ethic and things. And I think that contributed heavily to where I am today. But grew up in Asheboro and started businesses around the age of, my version of businesses around the age of 13, 14 years old, and at least the idea of being an entrepreneur, being a business person, what my version of success was at that point around that age. And, over the years just grew into many, many things. Ended up going from there to currently live in Mooresville, North Carolina on Lake Norman. And I've got a wife that I've been with for 18 years, been married for 16, and 3 boys.
Crazy.
And as of today, one's 3, about to be 4, and 7 and 9. So it's pretty awesome. Hard to believe.
Yeah. Like Daniel, I actually come from pretty humble beginnings too. I grew up in Asheboro as well. We both met each other there, so we became friends. Actually, we were really poor when I was a young kid because we had just, my dad's family was originally from Asheboro. They've been there for like 250 years or something in Randolph County. It was the early 80s. I was born in 80, so we were coming out of a depression, or a recession rather. Times were tough. We didn't even have running water. We had no plumbing in the house, and it was a tiny, few hundred square foot house with 3 rooms. But it was fine. I mean, my parents loved me, and I was happy, so I didn't know any different. And then when I got older, my parents built a new house and stuff, and things got better. I always had an interest in business, though. I was always ambitious, even as a young kid. I was always interested in art, also. So I would make drawings and stuff and try to sell them to family members. I was like 6, and I remember when I was probably 8. A friend of mine and I we created a school store. So we bought a bunch of school supplies and got shoe boxes and receipt books, and we'd sell school supplies to other kids at school, and then get together at his house after school and tally up our money and see how well we did.
Awesome.
I'm not sure that we actually made any money, but we sold everything. And I had an uncle that was really successful. He had a really successful drywall company, and he would constantly talk to me about business at my grandmother's house, on the weekends. And I think that planted a lot of the seeds early on for entrepreneurship, and I decided even at that age that when I was grown, I would be self-employed, and eventually I was. I started my first business at 22, but still worked a job, and I went to school for advertising and graphic design, which I've used a lot for my own businesses and stuff, but. Finally, by 27, I was completely self-employed in my 3rd business, and then since then, I've owned about 22 different companies, or probably 25 different companies actually, and some have been really successful, some have been really big failures, and I've done very well, so I'm thankful. I have nothing to complain about, but I have lost everything, and then basically started over, which I think that's part of the process. It's
Definitely.
I think it's good to be body slammed a few times and It makes you appreciate things more. Not that I didn't appreciate it to begin with, because I came from nothing, so I appreciate everything. But it really put things into perspective, because sometimes you feel like you're on top of the world, and you think, well, gosh, man, I can't fall down from here, and then
That you
bam. But so it's been a great life. I've had a lot of good experiences, and I feel like I'd like to share those experiences with other people, and also some of the entrepreneurs coming up, they struggle and maybe have some hard times, or maybe do really well, and then the bottom falls out, things change, and and it's really overwhelming. But I think what I've learned is that the key is momentum. You just keep moving forward and keep believing in what you're doing. Sometimes you have to change directions, to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. But not giving up, as long as you're still healthy and alive and able to move forward, you haven't lost the game.
Definitely.
So I guess that's why we're here. We just want to inspire other people to try to pursue their dreams and goals, and I think being a serial entrepreneur like us, you're probably a little crazy anyway, but
You got to be
that's
a little
okay.
crazy. Got to be a little crazy.
You have to take chances, and then I guess me personally, I come at business from a more creative standpoint too. I think like deep down, I'm an artist at heart. I got into acting 7 years ago. Haven't done anything exceptional with it yet. I've had a couple of guest star roles on some network series and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm happy, excited, but I want to do a lot more with it. Had a role in a feature film that shot in LA last year that should be out sometime this year.
Can you talk about that one?
Yeah. I don't know if I can say a whole lot about it yet until it's out, but it's
NDA and stuff, sure.
Yeah, it's called Blood Pageant. It's a horror film. It should be pretty cool. It's got Snoop Dogg and
Awesome.
who else is in it? David Chokachief from Baywatch is in it. Stephen Baldwin is in it, and also the girl that played one of the leads on Seventh Heaven back in the day. I can't think of her name, but she's in it too. So should be cool.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come out mid-year this year.
Awesome.
And I got into. I've always loved writing. It's always been a strength, but most of my writing in the past was all business related. I got into creative writing, specifically screenwriting, about 7 years ago, and written some, several shorts and a few feature-length screenplays, and one of those did really well this past year in the film festival circuit. And I won a lot of awards, and I plan to take that one on to be published as a graphic novel, and then hopefully make it into a film after that. And I've recently been doing some stand-up comedy, which I started doing that as sort of a writing exercise to improve my comedic writing. But I really enjoy it, so I'm just going to keep doing it. It's fun. It's a challenge.
You're getting good at it too.
Sometimes. Sometimes I just stand on stage and eat shit for about 5 minutes. So that's part of it too, I guess.
Yep.
So what about you, Jesse? Tell us about you, man.
Well, let's see. I was born kind of from humble beginnings and stuff, but I was kind of lucky. I had two really good parents who were both teachers, and they both were craftspeople and artists and stuff like that. So I've been surrounded by people making things since I was young, and I just grew up thinking, well, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's what ended up being, after 45 years or whatever, what I have to do, obviously, because I'm constantly, trying to build stuff. It's what I really want to do. I want to be in the workshop making stuff and producing that. I've done, from an early age, my mom just sort of took care of me by handing me tape and cardboard and stuff, so I just make stuff all day long, And that kind of turned into like a regular art degree that I got later, and drawing, painting, and sculpting, which I still like doing. I got a little comic book I've been working on forever, just sort of when I have chance, I'll do
Oh, yeah,
another
hold it
page
up.
or something like that. This is Assassins of Death. One day it'll come out. This is just like a little preview booklet I put out for a while, and it just takes me forever. When it takes you 3 or 4 whole days to do one page, life has to happen. I have to survive,
Right,
so I have to
yeah.
do other stuff. But I've been a filmmaker for a long time. Made my first film in 1995. Took a class at the School of the Arts, like over the summer immersion course. So I learned everything about filmmaking. I knew I wanted to make films, but I did that, and it kind of just shoved everything into my skull about how to do it. Then I went on to get a master's in filmmaking at UNCG, and I've just been making short films and feature films ever since.
Nice.
You can find some online. I'm not a name yet or anything like that. It's just it's what I want to do more than anything. We just finished. There's a feature we shot last summer around Greensboro called Kill Giggles, and I'm just about finished with the edit of that, and it's going to come out soon. It was pretty fun. We had Vernon Wells, Felissa Rose, and Judith O'Day in it, who have been in a lot of like sort of cult horror films and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
We should have some of them on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be great.
Definitely.
Talk about the film, and
I will certainly see for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.